Coming in, you guys, it's day number 139 of my 365-day Jimmy Ice Bath Challenge. We're live today because I have something very special for you guys in store. Stick around. Got something I've never done before with an ice bath, and there's a lot of things I've done with an ice bath, but not what I'm about to do today. So there's the ice bath, 32 degrees Fahrenheit. I've been getting into it all year long, you guys, and today the temperature is a very chilly 32.7 degrees Fahrenheit. And yes, those of you watching, you are watching live. This is not the replay, because I'm about to do something that I've never done in the Morozco Forge. So those of you that are new, this is an ice bath machine called the Morozco Forge. It makes its own ice. It filtrates the water. It's all beautiful. In fact, you can see some ice developing. I had it worked on earlier this week, and it's finally starting to make some ice again. But I want to do something today, you guys, that I've never done before in the Morozco Forge. It's 93 degrees here in South Carolina today. And I thought, what better day with this temperature outside for me to push the limits of how long I can stay in 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So you guys that watch regularly, you know I get into that bad boy for the 5 minutes. I easily do 5 minutes. I say easily. It's still a challenge, but I do it every single day. It's no big deal. The longest that I have ever gone is for 10 minutes. There was the first time I tried to push it, I went for like 7.5 minutes and I had to get out. Then about 2 months ago, I pushed it to do 10 minutes. That was the longest before today. Today, you guys, I want to go for 15 minutes in 32 degree water. 15 minutes. So now you know why I went live. I wanted you guys to watch. I'm going to need your feedback, all your hearts and all your fire emojis while I'm in there, because this is going to be intense. It's also why I'm going live at like 4:30, because I wanted to have plenty of time to talk to you guys after I'm done. I'm probably going to need an extended warm-up period, and I'm very anxious to see if I'll shiver at all, because I don't usually shiver in an ice bath anymore. So will doing 15 minutes cause me to shiver? I will tell you now, I will lift my hands out of the water very quickly. I always do that in the 5-minute bath anyway. But I wonder the numbness in the rest of my body. We're about to find out. Let me get in there and we'll see how it is. But welcome you guys. We are live on Instagram. I have missed you guys coming on here regularly during the month of May. But I wanted to come on here for this 20-minute session here today. All right, let's set you down. If anybody comes in, let them know. I'm doing 15 minutes. Sorry. See, I'm already trying to jump to 20 minutes. I got 15 minutes on the clock. No, I'm not quite ready for 20 minutes. There is a big sheet of ice at the bottom. I don't think it's loose. I tried to loosen it up earlier and it would not come up. So I'm going to set the clock closer to me so I can see it, because usually when it's over there, I can't see it. So I'm going to set it right there. In fact, up here, so I can take a gaze over at it. And here we go. Wish me luck, you guys. It's cold. Can't see that clock. All right, now I can see. I got 15 minutes to do today, guys, so I'm doing some extra breathing, trying to make sure I plenty warm my body. My hands are getting very numb already, as they always do right around this point. I'm going to probably lift them out of the water very soon. I noticed that when I kept them in the water for too long, I was losing the feelings in the tips of my fingers. So I modify it by lifting my hands out of the water. Now the rest of my body stays under the water, and happily so. But we're going for a new record, new personal record for Jimmy today. So I set out at the beginning of the year that I wanted to do 5 minutes a day in 32 degree temperature water. And for most of the year, that's what I've been doing, 5 minutes a day. Then about 3.5 months ago, I decided, hey, I want to see how long can I go before it's too much. And so 3.5 months ago, I get in here and I just press start, and I got to about 7.5 minutes before it became too much for me to bear. Then 2 months ago, I decided, let me see if I can go for 10 minutes. I'd already done 7.5 minutes. I was getting more adapted. And so I tried 10 minutes, and I did the 10 minutes. And so I remember at the time saying my next challenge will be 15 minutes, and I'll probably do it sometime during the summer. Well, here we are. It's still May. It's not even summer. It's not even Memorial Day yet. So, and I'm pushing the bounds. I want to see, can I go for 15 minutes? Now, the modification with my hands is definitely going to help a lot. I will tell you now, I'm right about 4 minutes into the challenge. So normally, this is about the time that I'm starting to wrap up being in the ice bath within the next 60 seconds. But I'm going to keep going for triple the amount of time that I normally do. And I feel the typical numbness in my legs. Of course, part of that is there's a big sheet of ice directly underneath my legs. So that's an X factor here that I was not preparing for. That ice down there with the Marasco Forge has not released. And so I'm getting a little bit of numbness from that. My toes and my feet are pretty numb already as well. And so this is going to be interesting. That's going to be the factor, because otherwise I'm handling this okay. My body is okay. It's the typical intensity. I am concerned because I'm already feeling, and it's right at 5 minutes now, I am feeling my feet get extremely numb. And I don't want to stay in here to the point that I can't get out and walk around. So I'm also paying attention to make sure I don't get any frostbite or anything like that on my feet. So this is a work in progress. This is why I wanted to go live with you guys today, because in real time, you're seeing me push the bounds of my physical body to do things I have not done yet. Other than my hands, which are out of the water, I suppose I could lift my feet out of the water at all. That's going to be awkward. So, welcome today to the Hands and Feet podcast. I'm not doing that to you guys. It's going to be interesting to see if I can make it the full 15 minutes. The rest of my body is doing really well. The outdoor temperature being 93 degrees is definitely helping, because I can feel that humidity and the heat in the air, and it's definitely making the cold more tolerable because of that. And that was one of the things I was hoping would happen during the summertime, which is not officially summer, but it's definitely feeling like summer today. So I wanted to try it today. All right, looks like we're right at 6.5 minutes. I got 8.5 minutes left, you guys. And I think you should try to test the bounds of where you are. Because how do you know what you're capable of if you never push yourself to try things? For me, 5 minutes has become pretty easy. Still a challenge, but in the grand scheme of things, pretty easy. 7.5 minutes that first time was very difficult. 10 minutes. I want to say that 10 minutes 2 months ago wasn't bad, but I was ready to get out. And here I am at just around 7.5 minutes in here with 7.5 minutes more to go. My feet are so numb. I'm feeling them down there and I'm going, oh, do I want to make those any more numb than they really are right now? Yikes. It's pretty tough. Oh, I'm going to lift them for a little bit. I know that looks awkward on camera, but work with me here because I'm trying to make 15 minutes in an ice bath and my feet are just absolutely frozen. Oh, that is weird. All right, back down you go. So, I love challenging. I love the new things I learn about myself every time I push those boundaries of what I have done. You never know what you're capable of. Hell, when I started this at the beginning of the year, I'm like 5 minutes a day in 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Are you crazy, Jimmy? I remember when I was coming up with the concept of doing this, I thought, yeah, that's doable, yeah. But not really thinking through the consequences of that's every single day, 365 days. Obviously, I travel and I don't always get into the Morosko Forge, but I do some kind of cold every single day. That's a lot of cold therapy. All right, guys, we are now officially 9 minutes in here. I'm 1 minute away from my record. Oh, and my feet are getting so numb. This is the bugaboo right here, you guys. My feet are so numb. This is going to forever be known as the foot episode of the ice bath videos. I apologize that you have to look at the bottoms of my feet. I have pretty feet though. But it's giving me a little bit of relief, you guys, because I am trying to make it 15 minutes in here. The sad part about lifting my legs like that is I start getting a cramp in my hip, lifting my feet up like that. So, all right, guys. I've got almost at 5 minutes, just over 5 minutes left. And if you came in late, welcome, welcome. We are live on Instagram. I wanted to show this live here today of getting into an ice bath. It's 32 degrees Fahrenheit. And my goal today, my goal usually is 5 minutes. Well, I just went double that. Today, I'm trying to make it 15 minutes in 32 degree temperature water. Now, I'm not saying you should do this because if you've never gotten into an ice bath before, don't start with 32 degrees. Jimmy's done ice baths for a little while, and I've gotten acclimated, and I've gotten used to doing all kinds of things in an ice bath. So this is Jimmy pushing the bounds of what he thinks he's capable of. And if my feet weren't numb, I'd say the rest of my body's doing very well. I'm gonna have to lift them again. Those feet getting numb, that's really the only pain that I'm feeling right now. The rest of my body is handling this very well. Not uncomfortable in the least in the rest of my body. So your extremities, both your hands and your feet, will always be the thing that will get the coldest in an ice bath. And there's a reason for that. Those are the furthest away from your heart. So when you think about the blood circulating, it has to turn around at your fingers, and it turns around at your toes and your feet. So when the blood's circulating, it has to turn around somewhere. That's where it turns around. Well, that's why the intensity of the cold is so much more in those extremities. Now, I've already talked about how I modify it for my hands to be out of the water because I did get numbness in the tips of my fingers by staying in for too long with those. So this modification definitely helps me out a lot. if there was a convenient way to lift my feet up, then I think I could easily do 15 minutes pretty much any day I wanted to. But because today's the day we're doing 15 minutes in here, I'm doing what I can to get this done. And this is a lesson for you guys that if you set a goal, ooh, that's a good idea. I'm leveraging. All right, now that takes the pressure off the hips and the back. Good. All right, so I'm still in the ice bath. I know this looks so weird, but work with me here. I'm trying to do a 15-minute ice bath. I need to let my feet not get overly numb. I am a little concerned. But do modifications to make it work for you. This is the key of what I'm trying to teach to you here today, that it's not about being perfect. It's not about suffering. It's not about allowing pain. It's about what modifications do you need to make to get the benefit. Because the rest of my body's still getting exposed to the cold, and that's giving me benefit, and that's being a very good thing. All right, guys, we're down to less than 2 minutes left. I'm going to leave my feet out until right about the 1 minute mark, and I'm going to stick them back in. They are very, very numb right now. My toes are so numb. The bottoms of my feet and my toes are just like, dude, what are you doing to us? But we're coming up on that 1 minute left, so I'm going to make it the 15 minutes. I just needed to have the modifications with the feet out of the water, the hands out of the water. The rest of my body submerged. And yes, I will plunge at the end with my head, as I always do. So yes, those of you who came in late, we are live here on Instagram. I know I've been away for most of the month. I came back a couple days ago to get on camera for 20 minutes in 45 degrees. I wanted to show you that. So today I'm doing 15 minutes in 32 degree Fahrenheit. And the main thing I've had to do is modify with my feet, sometimes coming out of the water, and my hands out of the water. All right, we're down to about a half a minute left, you guys. That modification, getting my feet out of the water, was such a helpful move. So I'm glad I did that. I'm definitely going to make it because we're down to about 20 seconds left. I'm going to get in a position to go under the water. I'll be right back. Yeah. I am extra cold today. Holy cow. Woo. Those of you that came in late, yes, I'm live today. I just did 15 minutes in a 32 degree Fahrenheit ice bath. My butt is so numb. It feels like I got hemorrhoids. I got such numbness in the backside of my body. That is an interesting feeling, getting out of that cold for that long. Yeah, that's a wicked feeling. I didn't expect that, but I can appreciate it. I can appreciate having that extra time in there and what it would feel like. So let me give you let me describe it a little bit. I'm getting sensation of much more numbness throughout the body than I normally do, which is to be expected. I've been in 32 degree temperature ice bath for the last 15 or so minutes. So that's to be expected. I do feel like it's a little longer than I probably should have gone, if I'm being honest. That I'm feeling somewhat of a negative effect I feel, not, I mean, don't take this wrong, but I'm feeling a little disoriented, just a little bit, just because I can tell that that was a longer session than what I normally do. And so that's interesting, right? That I don't feel the same way as I do with the 5 minutes. Because with the 5 minutes, I can do 5 minutes and I come out and I'm refreshed. And don't get me wrong, I feel refreshed now. But there's a little bit of lethargicness to my walking around that I don't normally have. And part of that is I'm super numb in most of my body. My feet, I'm starting to get the feeling back in the feet again now that I'm walking around. But I'm feeling my body like I got my hand on my belly, and it's still super cold. Yeah, it's an interesting feeling because I like to push the envelope to see where I am, but I think 15 minutes was probably a little too long, if I'm being honest. And I don't know why, because I thought I would be able to handle that pretty well. But again, this is why I do these experiments. You don't know that you can do something unless you try it, right? And so now I can say I've tried it, right? Yeah. All right. Do we need an ambulance on standby? No, Bulletproof. We're good. I promise you, bro. For some reason, my screen just went dark. Yeah, I tried to see if it got dimmed somehow. Yeah, because I can't see the screen out there in the sun. It might be so hot out here that the screen, sometimes when your phone gets overheated, the screen will go dark to preserve energy. Let me go back inside. All right, let's see who all is commenting, and I will say hello to you. Sharon says, great. Bulletproof says, go, Jimmy. Thank you. Sharon says, wow, new test. Bring it on. I do like the new tests always, Sharon. Welcome, guys. Thanks for everybody who came in live. I don't normally go live, have not been going live in the month of May. I usually record these and then upload, but today I did something special, so I wanted to share that with you. Carnivore Angel says, if anybody can do this, you can. Just don't turn into an ice cube. Well, I kind of feel like an ice cube right now, Sally. If I'm being honest, I really do feel like an ice cube. But let's see. Who else is commenting here today? Welcome, guys. Your skin is glowing, says Candy. Thank you. I appreciate that. Sally says, you did it. Yes. Barely, Sally. If I was not able to lift my hands and my feet out of that water as a modification, there's no way. The only way I was able to stay in the full 15 minutes with the rest of my body was to be able to lift my feet out of the water and the hands, of course, out of the water. I knew from past experience that if I didn't lift the hands out, I would have numbness in the tips of my fingers that would last long after I got out. So I knew that wasn't great. I am paying attention, and I will, after this is over, pay attention if there's any lingering numbness that stays in the feet. I want to be aware of that. I wish the feet didn't get so cold, so numb, because honestly, the rest of my body does remarkably well in there. Sharon says, awesomeness. Thank you. Cherish says, you're a beast. Well, I'm something. I'm crazy. Probably 15 minutes in that bad boy. Those of you who came in late, got to do my ice bath today. 32 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 minutes. I can at least say that I'm progressing. Here we are, was it May? It's not even halfway through the year. Does that mean by the end of the year I should be capable of a half an hour in there? That's a pseudo goal for me. If I can get a half an hour into an ice bath of 32 degrees Fahrenheit by the end of the year, I think that would be quite the accomplishment. Do you take your vitals before and after the plunge, says Cowabunga? No, I do not. I have taken my temperature, and I usually get a preemptive raise in my body temperature. I assume when you say vitals, you mean like heart rate, blood pressure, and all that. I don't know. I'm not concerned about those things. I've never had any issue with those. I do wear the Oura ring, and so it does show me my heart rate, so I can keep an eye on how the heart rate is doing. I always check that data when I'm done so I can see. And usually what happens, I will see a slight bump up in the heart rate, but that's where the heart's trying to pump more blood, so to beat faster, to pump more blood to help keep me warm. So that's pretty normal. Not abnormally high with the heart rate, but just slightly. And it's great. But I don't feel that, or at least I didn't today. Some days when I get into the cold, I do feel that doom, 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 and I can feel it beating. And it's a weird sensation when it does that. But not every day, and I didn't feel it at all today. It's tea time, says Cowabunga. Yes, some hot tea with my little pinky out. Hey, Bold in the Cold, says Warrior Woman Mode. So guys, Warrior Woman Mode, she is one of those people who helps people get into cold therapy. And so, yes, Warrior Woman Mode, I did 15 minutes in 32 degree Fahrenheit today. Longest I've ever done. Had the challenge with the hands and the feet. I wish there was something I could do other than the modification that I did. But I don't make myself feel bad for having to do a modification so that I can do it for the rest of my body. I think submerging my torso and my stomach and my legs and having those all below the water, and I lift my hands and lift my feet as a modification to be able to keep all the rest of those under the water, that's a great trade-off, in my opinion. New meaning to the word Ice Age. Cowabunga is coming with the jokes today. Yes, your appendages are important. Yes, Sally. That's why I do lift my hands out of the water. I have to type with these fingers, and so if I have no feeling in my outer extremities, then that's no fun. I just noticed the camera was smudged. I don't like that. Love living that low temp life. Yes, I need to change from living La Vida low carb to living that low temp life. LLTLT. LLTLTL is what that would be. Doesn't have quite the ring of LLVLC. JT says, it's happening. Dude, I did it, man. 15 minutes. 32 degrees, bruh. Can't wait to meet you at KetoCon. Thank you, Warrior Woman Mode. Should be a fun time at KetoCon. And definitely I will be bringing some swimming trunks to do some demos with you of ice bath. That'll be a lot of fun. JT says, oh, it already happened. Nice. Yes. It's all about your PR, nothing else. I love your vibes. Thank you, Warrior Woman. Are you still on the keto diet? Well, of course I'm on the keto diet. Why would I not be on the keto diet? Expand on your thoughts there. Thank you for your comments. Incredible Record says, Bulletproof, thank you. I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I know you, Bulletproof, have been goading me. Hey, when are you going to try 15 minutes? When are you going to try 15 minutes? When are you going to try 15 minutes? And I kept thinking, when the first real hot day happens here in South Carolina, I would give it a go. And 93 degrees today. So it hot. What's funny is it's hot, but it's not. Because the humidity is not as high as it normally is in the South during the summer. And so it's hot, but it's not like a August hot, because we get a lot of humidity once it hits like July, August. But yes, if you came in late, you missed all the fun, you guys, because I got into my Morosco Forge 32 degree Fahrenheit temperature ice bath and I made it for 15 minutes in there today, you guys. 15 minutes. The only modifications I did was I lifted my hands like I usually do, and I had to lift my feet out of the water several times. Other than that, the rest of my body was submerged. I am here now about 15 minutes out of the ice bath, and I'm still cold. I can feel the backside of my body still very cold, which is, again, not surprising. Hello, Gabby. Thanks for being here. JT says, so nature is acting as your sauna today, is what you're saying. Yes. And if my screen went very dark on me, so I got out of the direct sunlight, I thought maybe it was impacting the screen. But yes, this is my sauna. So, enjoyable. Still not shivering, and that's great. I don't ever shiver with the cold anymore. I haven't shivered since February. That was the last time I've shivered being in an ice bath. I just don't shiver anymore. I credit brown fat production. I credit acclimation. I just don't shiver. I would assume at some point of exposure to cold, I would have to shiver at some point. You can't just be cold indefinitely without the body trying to warm you up in some way beyond the mechanisms of all the things that happen that make me warm now. Or maybe not. That's an interesting kind of thought process of once you get adapted, once you learn how to activate your brown fat and you grow the brown fat, I have to have brown fat coming out the wazoo now. How could I not? Otherwise, what would explain me never shivering? What would explain me tolerating the intensity of the cold? Now, it's still very intense, it's still very cold, but I tolerate it very, very well. It's kind of interesting to think, can you make yourself shiver? In other words, make yourself be cold for so long that you do shiver. Now, most people do. Minute, 2, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever. You'd be shivering like crazy in 32 degrees. Not me. And while my skin's starting to warm up, my backside is still pretty cold. But most of my body's warming up already. And I'm not shivering. Not even a little. In fact, I'm starting to get hot. If that's believable. It should be believable because I'm believable, but I'm actually getting warm now, having been out of the ice bath now for about 15 minutes. After being in there for 15 minutes, now I've been out for 15 minutes, and I'm actually feeling sweaty. I'm feeling hot. Now, part of that is the outdoor temperature is 93 degrees, but it's not a sticky 93 like it normally would be. It's interesting just observing all this. Will you do 10 minutes more often or 5, says Bulletproof? And I'm going to stick to the 5. I think Bulletproof 5 minutes as my norm, as my true north of what my norm should be. 5 minutes is what I do. Whenever I push it beyond the 5 is when I'm experimenting. So today we did an experiment with 15 minutes. Could I do 10 minutes? I mean, based on what I did in there today, at the 10-minute mark, I was starting to suffer with my feet getting ultra numb, like it was getting unbearable. So could I keep my feet in for that entire 10 minutes? Probably. But I'm progressing little by little by little. We'll try it again in a couple months from now to see if I'm able to go. And I may not put parameters on it the next time. I'll say at least 15 minutes the next time. And if I can go beyond the 15, we'll see how far beyond. I don't want to force a time that maybe I'm not quite ready for. KTF says, wow, thank you. Still no shivering. Nope. I don't shiver anymore, dude. I have been doing this for a little while. And like I said, all I can attribute it to is I have to have such brown fat production happening, because I literally don't ever get the shiver response, ever. And I was reminded of that when my friend Kelly came to visit me earlier this year for my birthday party. She got in there and she was in for 4 minutes. The first time she ever got in there, 4 minutes, which I thought was pretty badass. 32 degrees Fahrenheit, and in it she was completely fine. Everything was hunky-dory and she did great. As soon as she stepped out of the water, she would shiver like I have never seen somebody shiver as much as she did after getting out of the ice bath. And it reminded me how remarkable it is that I'm not shivering. And that shows the difference between someone who's well adapted to the cold and someone who has not yet adapted themselves to the cold. Warrior Woman says, hashtag Wazoo. Yes. Did I say the word Wazoo? JT, if you can handle 30 minutes without shivering, then I'm pretty confident you've evolved beyond shivering. Yes. Yes. I have no doubt that would happen. I don't know what auspices I would ever shiver unless I was exposed to cold well beyond my tolerance. Like I'm thinking about the Siberian. Yeah, I'm just like thinking through the coldest places on earth where it's like negative, below zero. I would have to shiver in that. Like eventually you would have to get shivery. So welcome guys. Yes, I decided to go live today because I got into that beautiful tank of icy water, 32 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 0 degrees Celsius for my international friends. And I decided to push the boundaries of how long I would do it today. 15 minutes. Yes, Kira says Antarctica. Yes. 15 minutes and 32 degrees. Pretty proud of that. Yes, I had to do some modifications, but you do what you got to do to get through it. And that's a lesson we can all learn from. All right, guys, that's it for day number 139. Thank you so much for watching this live. If you're watching it on Instagram, if you're watching on replay on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or even here on Instagram, follow me over on Instagram. I'm at Living Low Carb Man. Would love to have you join me over there. I will be getting back to regularly going live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, starting again in the month of June. I got a little bit while longer that I'm going to keep doing these offline in the month of May. I will tell you, if you're following me on Instagram, I have a brand new account. If you like the mental health stuff, if you like the mindset stuff, like the inspirational posts that I do, I have created a brand new Instagram page, you guys, called Mind Matters More, M-O-O-R-E. So Mind Matters, M-O-O-R-E. I came up with Mind Matters, and then on my ice bath video the other day, somebody said, you should throw more on the end of it. Mind Matters More. So I created that. We're already putting content up over there on Instagram. Just in like a day and a half online, I already have almost 300 followers over there already. So I'd love to have you guys join. At some point, I will probably start doing lives over there and other interactive content for those of you who are into mindset. And look, an ice bath sets the stage for your mind to be changed and ready to absorb information and be inspired and all the things. And so it's very much related to what I've been doing on this page. But go check it out, guys, if you haven't seen it already. And I'm going to get off of here for now. Thank you so much for watching this, you guys. I am going to get out of my swimming trunks because I'm a little wet and a little chilly. But this was fun today. 15 minutes. I got a new PR in the ice bath. And yeah, we're going to keep at it. Thank you so much for all the support, guys. And I will see you again real soon. Bye, everyone.